Boy, howdy. I'm sorry I'm late.
Having not waited between multi-part episodes pretty much ever until I listened to these, I was very frustrated.
So we're gonna be here a while.
I'm going to agree with everything that comes out of your mouth from this point on.
Till death do us part.
Do you not realize that she is a lunatic spy that is dangerous?
See, funny quip guy.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
These are my kids now.
Well, I don't know. Welcome back to Adventures in Absurdity. We got Hannah, Grace, and Addie today. Possibly more people are joining us. We don't really know. Whoop whoop. I'm pretty sure this is our 20th episode.
Woo.
Hey!
Wow. Sure.
Yeah. So to commemorate that and the new album that is dropping, we're going to talk about the Rydell Revelations today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to it yet, you should definitely go do that before you listen to this, because you're going to get spoiled.
Yeah. Going to be a lot of spoilers.
Lots of spoilers. The Rydell Revelations, parts 1 through 3, were written by Phil Lawler, directed by Phil Lawler, produced by Nathan Taylor, executive produced by Dave Arnold. I'll read the summary for part 1. Emily Jones begins her exhaustive investigation into the mastermind behind a number of mysterious occurrences in Odyssey, including the student council election, the opened lockers, the escape room, and more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
So, yeah. Okay, can I just say right out of the gate, this soundtrack is the most beautiful thing ever!
Honestly, probably my favorite Odyssey soundtrack ever. For these three.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's amazing. It really adds to the effect, too. It just adds to the intensity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it fits really well. Builds up the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think there's one spot in part 1, right after Maury's I think Emily kidnapped Suzu, that music right there. It's so perfect.
It is. So I know we said something about we want to keep this more discussion based. So is there any concerns or comments you guys have?
Well, I don't think it's a secret that this is quite the controversial episode that we've got going on.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I would say on a base level, I definitely really enjoyed the episode and the action vibes we got, because we haven't really had that in a while. But once you start thinking about it, it gets a little bit less enjoyable.
Yeah. It I mean, I was definitely, the first time I heard the it or whatever, I was very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I took me a second to be this is Odyssey, because lately the episodes that they've been airing are super fun, lighthearted,
yeah, they've been very tame.
Right? I haven't, honestly, I feel like it hasn't been this wild since the Green Ring or Novacom. So
yeah,
I mean, it was refreshing. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely my favorite type of episode. It's funny that you mentioned Novacom, because I listened to this for the 10th time yesterday, and there were so many moments that were very reminiscent of Novacom, especially with the secrets theme, because that was also a really big theme in Novacom, especially with Mitch and Connie.
Uh-huh.
Some of what Whit and Maury talked about and what Whit and Emily talked about was very similar to what Mitch and Connie talked about.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that people said, like, on Tumblr and stuff when it first aired or whatever on the club, that some people wish like the recap of like what had all happened prior was shorter. But honestly, I was very scared that they were going to drop all the previous storylines, like with Jordan Windward and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that they brought that up because it really does help tie everything into perspective. And it's just seeing Emily go and do her thing. Like, she's such a boss, and I love her. She's living. Yeah, can't talk.
Same. Living her best detective life over there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially after being scarred after the previous episodes.
Oh, yikes. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought, like, part one, the fact that it took all of part one for them to, like, recap was kind of, like, I don't know, it was kind of frustrating, but at the same time, I would have been so confused without it. I think it was necessary. But yeah, I really liked part one. And then we got to part two, and I was like, I feel like we're getting some cop-out answers here, but I'll reserve my judgment. And then we got to part three, and I was like, well, dang it, they took a lot of those cop-out answers.
Yeah.
So I was a little frustrated by that, for sure.
Yeah. I really felt like in part one, Maury was trying to weasel his way out of stuff, like, way too much when he was talking to Wit. And I'm like, no, you little weasel. Don't be like that. I know you're guilty.
The acting was so good, though. Hi, Matthew.
Hi! Hello, everyone. I'm here for the episode. I'm
Yay.
sorry I'm late.
It's all good.
You're okay.
We just started like 5 minutes ago anyway.
Oh, Liddy, where are you guys in the episode?
Maury's
Really?
being a weasel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you okay?
Me?
Yes, you're like, hey, hi, woo! Like, what?
I'm just... I'm good. I'm vibing.
That was convincing.
Thank you. Also, context to any listeners on literally anything, any input I give on the episode today. I have only listened to the Rydell Revelations from about album 50 onwards. So I have no context for these episodes except for the episodes themselves. Anyways.
He also listened to it today. So.
I also listened to it today. And boy, howdy.
You could hear him screaming all the way from Canada.
For real.
Straight up, though. Oh, man. But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, even though I only have so we're going to be here a while. Anyway, let's go back to where you guys were before I joined.
We're not being super chronological, to be honest. We're trying, but...
Oh, dear.
It's kind of hard because the first one's, like, recapping
all
stuff.
over.
Yeah.
Which
was lovely
needed.
for me. Yeah.
You were like, Jordan, win what?
Yeah, it's like, yes, Mori, Suzu, Miss Nato, Miss Mato, I know these. Another side note. my science teacher is named Miss Nato, Nato. So initially, that's what I heard. So I was like, yes, Miss Nato, my science teacher. It's like, wait, hang on.
My science teacher is sus? What?
My science teacher is sus.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Miss Tomato is the imposter.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh.
Wait, actually, this whole 3 episodes is actually just them. Emily being like, Maury's sus, and Maury being like, Emily's sus, and then them being like, Suzu is sus, and then they're like, actually, it's Miss Tomato.
Tomato's sus. Except none of them die, which...
Surprisingly
else died, so...
we people have... Anyways.
Only international incidents, no deaths.
Only international. Yeah. What do international incidents in? Hang on. Do the international incidents that Maury has allegedly done get mentioned in any other episodes, or has he just nearly caused nuclear war and it's just kind of glazed over?
It's just glazed over.
Liddy.
I mean, technically, there's an episode coming up that happens after this that we haven't heard yet, so we'll see what happens.
Well, true.
But it's never been mentioned before until these episodes. So
yeah.
Cool. No doubt. All right.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with this. There's so much.
At the beginning.
Okay, Matthew.
Sorry. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Sure. No. Okay.
All right. So, have you guys started so the Elf is in Elps?
Yes.
Yeah.
I read the wiki.
Liddy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Slick. Okay. Whew.
We're at the point when Maury is in Wit's office and he's hiding stuff from Wit about what's on the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I love how they just opened the episode within the first 2 minutes. My sister's been kidnapped.
For real.
That'll
get your attention. My favorite part
What?
is how they got to that, but then you didn't actually get to what happened until the next episode. That was very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having not waited between multi-part episodes pretty much ever until I listened to these, I was very frustrated.
It just hit different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Maury was like, "Oh yeah, I have the visual proof that Emily kidnapped my sister on her phone," and then shows a bunch of videos unrelated to the kidnapping and was like, "See, Mr. Whitaker? She kidnapped my sister."
He's like, no.
Maury.
I say again, he's a weasel.
Maury.
Dude, the way Wit says, what is it? He's like, "Oh, prove it." That line always gets me. I'm always like, "Oh, heck."
I live for angry Andrei Stoica. I live for Andrei.
Bro,
yeah.
I was scared. You guys know that episode where Lucy's having a nightmare that she's gonna get banned from Wit's End for something I can't recall? That's what that felt like, except it's IRL Wit.
For real.
It's just what?
Yeah. Wit seems very emotional, but not emotional at the right time. If you get what I mean.
He never is. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
True.
I don't know how I feel about it.
He seems very biased against Maury in these first couple scenes. No, it's you did it. You're I know he's the antagonist, but Wit seems very biased just immediately from the get-go. But then we also find out that Wit's supposed to be looking out for these kids, but Wit is very biased against the kids. I don't.
Right. Because he knew already what was happening. He knew he was
probably acting.
Yeah.
He was acting like he didn't, but he did. So he was kind of yeah, okay, Maury. I know you're lying to me.
Yeah. Fair.
That's the same energy as okay, Boomer. Say what you want, but she didn't actually get kidnapped.
It's saying to Maury, okay, Boomer. Oh, that's
okay. Maury saying it to Wit would be quite time.
Okay, Boomer. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Okay.
If honestly it was based for 12 to 14-year-olds, Maury would have said that. I can.
Oh,
100%.
You're right. And I would live for it, to be honest. It would be pretty great. Okay, since
amazing.
we already mentioned it a little bit, how do we feel about Wit having known what was going on this whole time? I mean, I know how you feel, but let's talk about it.
No. I hit who?
I have choice words that I won't use on this family-friendly podcast. That's how I feel.
Okay. I feel.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was,
In my notes, I literally have like, this is the man who is sad he couldn't visit his family on Christmas. What happened?
yeah.
Like this
The
man
depression
felt sorry
just
for
got to him.
Yeah, I guess.
The depression just got to him, you know. He just can't control himself.
Wit snap.
Oh my.
I shouldn't have said that, but
No, but you're right. Yeah.
Mm.
No, it's so strange. Like,
Really.
I feel like ever since the reboot, they tend to pull the like omniscient wit card a little too often for my taste.
Mm.
Like usually when there's a mystery in the past, like he's been just as confused as everyone else and like also solving it with them. But like now we don't ever see him like solving anything. He just already knows the answer, which is not very exciting to listen to. And like, I don't know, there's just not much to it.
Yeah, it feels like he was solving it with us, the listeners, instead of him explaining to the listeners what happened in the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you know, in part 1 when he's talking to Maury, and or maybe it's part 1. I don't remember. I have it somewhere in my notes. But he's like, "You like manipulating people." I'm like, "You're one to talk."
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other frustrating thing about this episode is that it like paints Wit as someone who does manipulate people. Which, like, up until this episode, I like never thought that about him.
Yeah. Well, he even starts arguing with Maury about what he does is manipulate people, and it literally, like, his argument cuts off, and it's just like, so does he? Does he not? Does he have an argument for what he does? Exactly,
because Maury's like, we do the same thing, and Wit's like, no, we don't, but then he never proves that he does. Which, like, up until the Revelations, I would say I could prove that he doesn't. But within, like, these 3 episodes and the other parts of, like, the Rydell Saga, like, I don't know, honestly.
Oh.
Grace,
come back. Welcome back. I'm having flashbacks to the Grace and Matthew show.
So am I. You have no idea. My Wi-Fi I told Addie before we started, I like went to go on and it was taking forever to load. And like YouTube before was taking forever. I'm like, buddy, you better not be doing this.
Not right now, not today.
Not today.
No.
Oh. But yeah.
Yeah, so manipulatory John Avery Whittaker is a topic that I didn't expect to hear.
Okay, so you know, this is skipping ahead in the episode, but when she's talking to Matthew about like all of this stuff, and she's like, they both said like, yeah, we thought we were going to die. Like, I have a full rant written about Emily's mental health, but Matthew Parker's mental health honestly scares me because he's been through a lot.
I'm not entirely certain as to what his mental state is because I haven't heard him since, I don't know, whenever I've heard what's happened to the poor man who shares my name and initial.
Okay, well,
and like has 10 different voice actors.
Actually pretty sus, not gonna lie. I'd pick him as the imposter every time.
I mean,
no, but yeah, like he thought he was gonna die. He thought his best friend was giving up his life for him, and then like he finds out later that like friend goes insane because he made her feel like complete lost because he doesn't want to do this crime solving with her anymore, and it's just
yeah.
Aren't they like canonically like 13 too?
They're like 13 years old, yeah.
Yeah. They really get thrown through the ringer. The escape room one, that upset about the escape room if I hadn't found out that Wit. That's what was upsetting about it.
That makes me furious.
She's like, maybe I should have stepped in sooner. And I'm like, you think?
Yeah.
You think, buddy? Like, yeah, you should have.
Yeah. This is the man who is ready to shut down Wit's End because Lucy got a little bit hurt from an imagination station adventure.
Exactly.
Matthew and Emily, like, almost, like, mentally die, and he's like,
It's
I
like
wonder.
for your character growth. You gotta be able to use those talents, you know? I am like
it's
throwing my marker at you, buddy.
The
it's
talents,
evolving just backwards.
the talents part at the end just, I hate it. I can't stand it.
Probably
The
because
which
Wit is just like building an umbrella academy or something.
Basically. At this point, yes.
Oh, Jane would
Sounds
be
like
going
it.
off about this.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I remember I, like, realized a different moral that they totally could have gotten out of this episode. I like, wrote a post about it forever ago. I'm gonna try to find it because I don't remember what I said. But I liked it back then.
What was the moral?
What do you mean? That's what I'm trying to remember.
Oh.
Like the actual moral?
Yeah, like, instead of the talents thing, because I was like, this is kind of dumb, not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. Like, we all have different gifts, and we should, like, we've been given what we've been allotted. I feel like this isn't really the situation.
It's not applicable to the episodes at all.
Yeah,
It's not.
like
Like,
every other, like, ooh, bad guy, let's go save the day kind of episode in Odyssey has always been about, like, God saving grace and how God protects us and, like something along those lines. Not,
Yeah.
let's use our gifts, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making
Like-
sure that we can construct games where people think they're about to die.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, they should have used that moral for like not what I expected, like or great expectations, not Rydell Revelation.
Yeah.
Someone playing the drums or something? What's happening?
Oh, my brother's upstairs and he just got a trap set today, so
Nice.
That,
I
so
love
he's
that.
he's making some sick beats for us.
It's cool, man. We've got background music now, y'all.
Oh yeah.
That,
And a motorcycle.
yeah, sorry. I'm outside.
Oh
is that
dang.
Bruce's motorcycle? Is Wit riding it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I hope this doesn't. We're gonna go on a trip. Continue the episode.
In our favorite relationship.
Okay.
Can I go off a little bit
Do it.
on some things? Because
Yep. Go
I've
ahead.
lived internationally. Like,
Mhm.
I can kind of identify with Mori and Suzu. And, like, Miss Mado, obviously. Like, there's just a couple things. I've brought this up to you guys already. Why does Suzu have an accent while Mori does not? This is so small and, like, this isn't even remotely significant to the episode at all, but it's just irking me. Because if Suzu and Mori have been raised the same, either both of them should have an accent or neither of them should have an accent. I know she's Japanese, but if they were raised the same way, unless Suzu was adopted when she was like 10, which it doesn't seem like she would be, she
Yeah.
shouldn't have an accent.
Yeah.
I don't honestly. I mean, it does mention Mori like not having an interest in learning Japanese and he like can't read
That's
it. And
another
Wit's,
thing. Sorry.
Wit's like, what the heck? And he's like, I don't really care. So I don't know if it has like that was their way of explaining why he doesn't have an accent. I don't
I mean, maybe, but if you speak, like, but also he didn't learn to read or write Japanese while living in Japan his entire life.
Yeah.
I lived in
I know,
Indonesia
man.
for 2 years and know how to read and write it.
That's
What?
impressive.
Dang.
Okay, Matthew.
Sorry, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just another
Anyway.
plot hole in a series of a Swiss
Yeah.
cheese of an episode, honestly.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Also, Miss Mado, I don't know whether she was acting at this point, but Miss Mado, when she was talking to Emily, not knowing the English word for her occupation, despite it being her occupation and her communicating in English for a good portion of her life.
It was probably part of her cover.
Yeah, but like, oh,
we'll say it was part of her cover.
That's worse than I'm an analyst. Like at least Jason can kind of pull that off. This, no, you're a nanny, sweetheart. Yeah. I feel your pain.
Oh yeah.
It just feels like maybe this wasn't as well thought through as they want us to think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's one last language-related thing. Throughout the episodes, Miss Mado always referred to Mori and Suzu as Mori-kun and Suzu-chan, but then once she revealed herself to be a spy, she dropped the honorifics, and I was like, that's cool.
Interesting.
I enjoyed that. Anyway, that's my only rant because I have no other context for these episodes. Now it's your free turn.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Matthew, do you know what those honorifics mean?
They're basically just like for someone like younger than you because they're both kids. Like Chan is for guys, I think, and Kun is for girls. Or Chan can apply to both, and Kun is specifically only for girls. I don't know, but it's like saying like little Mori and little Suzu almost.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's cool. Also, wait, no, sorry. There's one last one.
Keep on
Japanese,
going.
her name's Mado, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is presumably Japanese. The Japanese pronunciation would be Mado with a long A sound, not Mado. Mado is a very bad, English pronunciation of it.
Oh, brother.
Anyways.
Can't deal with it.
I apologize for those. That's my only rant I have for this entire episode.
Don't apologize.
Now it's your guys' turn. Please actually rant about stuff that matters, like mental health and stuff.
I don't even know where we're at in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can just ditch the idea of going chronologically. Okay, but Tasha?
Natalie?
Oh my gosh! I know, right? I was so shook. Low-key found out on the wiki before I listened to the episode, but I was still really shook.
I did it! Nice. So, I know, before part 2 aired or whatever on the club, someone on Tumblr was like, hey, I know who it is. If you want to know, message me. And I wanted to keep it a secret, but literally, I was babysitting when I was listening to part 2, and I heard Tasha come on, and I started to freak out. And this 3-year-old that I'm watching, she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "It's Tasha!" She's like, "I just want to eat lunch."
Poor child.
Yeah.
I was so excited, and then in part 3 vaguely disappointed, but it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
It was honestly, unless it comes back at some point, it was definitely just fan service.
Yeah.
Because she played no significant role other than being like, by the way, here's what's actually going on, which is a plot device, not using a character very well. Sorry, it makes me mad because I'm in creative writing right now, so they're like, don't do this or this or that, and I'm just like, why did they do all of these things?
Philip, we need to talk. Just have a little chat.
Philip, take creative writing again. You forgot some things.
Well, yeah, because she's like, I was stationed to go to the U.S. Embassy in Japan. To do what? You were doing scheduling? Were you undercover for America? That was her cover.
Yeah.
But then what was she doing in Japan?
I can't say.
Trying to
okay.
Spy things.
buy things. Yeah.
Like I guess
see
they
what
were
about
monitoring Miss Mado, but like
Yeah. Some of the like allusions she made to other spies being an Odyssey ? I was also shook about because they said like, wait, you said there's someone else in Odyssey? She was like, I can't tell you that, and I was like, oh dang it, tell us.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah. Realistically, it's probably like Monty or like they convinced Jason to like help. But you know how on Tumblr there's that headcanon floating around that Tasha and Jason like recruited Katrina for that
Yeah.
NSI or whatever. I'm like, yes. She's undercover.
Oh my gosh. That would be really funny.
That'd be so
Right?
That'd be awesome.
I still think it would be funny if it was Jillian. Keeping tabs on Jason simply because they cannot trust him anymore because he keeps going back when he says he won't.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Oh my God.
Because she weaseled her way into J&J Antiques real quick there, I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, I would say it could be Jason, but I really think at this point it's not. And she asked Wit not to tell Jason that she was there, which also made me mad because that's how they're gonna be like, oh, it never happened.
That's their way to just, it's under the rug now. We don't have to.
It's over. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get another like Love is in the Air now or out of something blue. Something I could get another something blue, but instead of Mitch, it's Tasha. Oh,
I would die.
Yeah.
That would be so good. I would love Jason backing his head on the freezer again.
This poor man.
Your head still isn't that hard, Jason.
But I mean, the way she delivered the line about "Don't tell Jason" was just so like intriguing. I'm like, why? Why? Tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
But she did kick butt that one time when they like got to Mrs. NATO. She was like,
Oh my
"Psych,
gosh.
it's actually me."
Yeah.
That was sick.
That was pretty interesting. That scene was, I had to listen to it twice. I just didn't understand what happened.
Yeah.
I feel that. It was
Yeah.
quite like,
Yeah. It's like, surprise, Suzu is actually a fully grown white woman?
I understand the idea of making her appear to be Suzu, but like either she's just Tasha's a lot smaller than I thought she was, or like it can make her height look different. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like wasn't it like they made, like they created like a localized imagination station box and put Miss Mado in it?
Or they put Tasha.
Yeah.
They put Tasha in it. I don't know. It was from some work that I've been working on. I meaning Wit, and I am like, bud, stop before you blow something up. Stop.
He's working on some interesting things. Not gonna lie.
Wit do be kind of sketch though. Wit's sus.
I mean,
Wit is the imposter.
Wit was the that would explain his odd behavior. I mean, anyways,
It's Blacker.
he's not out to kill.
it's black.
It's black.
This whole time, he's gonna set up for Blackguard's return.
Actually, that could, because they know they can create localized imagination station adventures and disguise people as certain people. What if Blackguard took Wit's place?
It would be like Blackguard Returns, that one episode.
Yo!
But it actually happened. I would love that, honestly.
And he comes back blasting his Taylor Swift music. It's perfect.
Look
Wait,
what you
what?
made me do. I just reshaped on you. Oh no.
Oh, dear.
Addie, I love you so much.
Oh dear.
There were other like references to past stuff that were really cool too, like Wonder World and like the shack on Forest Mountain. I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. And then Emily said something about how like she knew it was up there, but she like didn't think, like she thought it was actually just and I was like, so Novacom has become like urban legend in Odyssey, which I just love that a lot. It makes me happy.
Yeah. Like kids talk about like the college kids, like kids in middle school are talking about the college kids who supposedly took down this massive corporation.
Yeah.
Like whispers of Nova boxes in the halls and
Yeah.
Wyatt Perkins is like, whoa. Fucking Jules are like, this actually happened, you know? And then Camilla, yeah, legend has it that there was this person that hacked like computers or something. And Connie's like, baby, no. That was my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, no, I feel like it comes up and Connie just like crunches into the corner and is like, I don't want to talk about it.
yeah. He's like, oh yeah, there's this legend, and then everyone involved just kind of looks at each other like, yep.
Yeah.
Pretty whack legend, right, guys? We don't talk about my dating life.
It's funny.
See, funny quip guy.
No, so in part 2, when Maury like confessed, like, yeah, I was behind it all, and he said that they set Dion up to take the blame for the lockers. How the butt did they manage to convince him to do that?
I legitimately don't understand the locker thing still, because like basically Maury said Suzu like went through and opened all the lockers and he was following her, but like Matthew and Emily were like, it would like they literally would have had to be there all night to open that. Like one person would have to be there all night to open that many lockers, even if they did it as fast as they possibly could. Right. So I'm like,
yeah,
but that doesn't make any sense.
Like you can jimmy one of those master locks like decently quickly, but like an entire school's worth? Nah.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
And especially if like when Maury said he had dexterity problems, that's the reason why like Suzu did it. So there really was only one person doing it.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Like she goes back and like I don't know how fast Suzu's mind runs, but then when we learn like she like went back and stole stuff, then like she obviously had to have had enough time to open the locker, scan the locker quickly, but then go off. But I'm like,
yoink.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I need more context.
It's one of those things I'm like, it could make sense, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's like the entire Revelations. Let's do.
Wait. Like there's the rule of show not tell. This entire the 3 parts was telling. It was all telling. It was all telling.
It was very irritating to me.
Yeah.
Because like the first part is pretty decent because it's showing Emily finding all the information. Like part 2 is straight up just Wit being like, this is what's going on. Like there's one part where Maury's like, do you know what Remembrance Day is? And Wit's like, yes, and it goes on to explain the whole thing. And I was just like, this is so stupid. This is really just them explaining it to kids who don't know. But the context they did it in was like not how you're supposed to do that at all.
Yeah, that also like made specifically me feel really patronized. Like, oh, do you know what Remembrance Day is? I don't know. I've only sat through like 2-hour-long assemblies every year due to it. Please explain it to me. Like
poor Canadians.
Yeah,
I was really wondering how you'd feel about that one.
Like. But okay, going off on the tangent of Canadian things and the fact that he had them wear the poppies to Japan with the because I'm also part Chinese. Like, Maury, you can't just do this. Like, you can create a kerfuffle, but not that one. Buddy.
Yeah, no, I forgot exactly how much of this you would understand far better than any of us would.
Yeah. I there's just a couple of things I want to go off on with like culture and culture shock and the fact that Maury says A more than some Canadian people I know.
I like that they were including more like outside cultural things, and that they like I like that about it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I wish they did it a little more smoothly, but I'm not. I can't be too mad about it.
They're getting there. They're
trying. They're doing their best.
They're making moves to include the world and not just have America.
Yeah.
Midwest America.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody with a New York accent came into
Nick Mulligan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nick.
Right, yeah, I forgot that was already a thing.
So we got New York, we got Buck and Tom representing the South. Apparently, since Connie's from LA, they're like, yep, that's our West Coast. And then obviously, Odyssey's just as great. Small town in rural America, Midwest. Now I'm just waiting for someone from Washington to come and, bam, regions.
Wait, do people in Washington have a different accent?
I don't know. But I'm just thinking, just different regions of the U.S.
We need like the four we need all the regions that Jamie showed on her map.
Yes.
Yes.
And then a couple ethnic characters thrown in for good measure with accents and for good.
Yes. I mean the crap. Wait, I just forgot their names. Hold on. The Calhouns. What's their dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from a country in Africa that I can't remember because I've only listened to the episode one time. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, they're trying. They're doing pretty good.
They are.
And I mean, they've always done pretty well with that. I would say, like in the past, when it wasn't even like the woke thing to do, like they still did it then too.
That's true. They did. They have had a presentation. That was weird. I was gonna stop the word at rep and then just kept going. That was weird. I apologize.
I liked it though. That was funny.
See, funny quip guy. I guess that wouldn't make sense to all the listeners. Before the episode started, since I don't have context for any of the episodes, I just delegated myself as the funny quip guy because I can't expand on like the storyline or anything really. So that's all I am for this episode. And the dude who goes off about cultural inaccuracies. Apparently,
Those are valid points, though. So I mean, don't feel too bad.
Thank you.
I got a little controversial snippet. I think Raymond. I think we can all agree that Raymond Rydell is a really trashy parent. But I wrote down, look, I don't want to be judgy or rude, but Raymond, control your child because, like, do better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was not doing so well as a parent.
Well, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not a good father and I never have been. Like, then become one.
Yeah.
Terrible human being.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, I get it though. It's like it's not like every parent in the world is great at their job. Like that's just the way it is. But it's still kind of like okay, but why?
Yeah, like it is hard, especially if you've just lost your wife. But like, buddy,
it's not even. It's just. It doesn't even seem like he loves his kids. I'm like, unfortunately that happens sometimes. But like, they're your kids. Your kids.
Yeah.
Do better.
Especially like when you put in the effort to like adopt a kid, like kind of sucky to like not be a good parent to them.
Yeah, but then like that kind of goes back to what you were originally saying, like his kids just kind of be off stealing international delegations like gifts to other nations, like it's cool. Just so everyone knows, we have people within the podcast who do like genuinely enjoy the Rydell Revelations. It's not like the entire podcast just hates everything about it. It is enjoyable.
Right.
I don't even hate everything.
Yeah, like it's not bad. And there are some people who aren't here with us today not because they passed away, they're just not recording.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I saw the opportunity. Who genuinely like the episodes. So please don't think we're just like, the new episode is terrible. It's just,
Yeah.
we have some critiques.
Yeah.
And like us specifically have critiques, not all of us.
I like the episodes, but
Fun listening to it.
there's just some parts that irk me to the core.
It's like it's weird that they put it as like one of those intriguing episodes that you should like figure out what's going on, but then they make it so that if you look too deeply into it, it doesn't actually make sense. Like maybe don't get us that excited about figuring out what's going on. Like just let it be what it is. I don't know. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Figure out the mystery, but swerve to avoid every single pothole like it's Winnipeg.
How do we feel about Wit being the temporary guardian of the Rydell children?
I don't like it.
It came out of left field.
Yeah, I feel it. And not everyone hates that. Like, I do think it'll bring up some interesting, like, dynamics that we have not seen before with Wit. So I'm, like, kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. But also, like, did we not learn from Clara? Did we not learn from Brianna and Tony? Like, come on, Wit.
Yeah, like
We've gone over this before.
Novacom, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've listened to Novacom, clearly. See, funny quip guy. Sorry, but yeah. Like,
Wade's wanted to adopt kids before, and he's gotten shot down by either Jack or Tom or someone. But now that he doesn't have anyone to shoot
Now
him
that they're
down,
both
he's just like, these are my kids now.
Well said. Well said.
Wilson, come yell at this man. He needs help.
yeah. But, like, I feel like Wit's parenting style will grate on Mori and Suzu a lot.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
a
they're gonna love
personal
it.
thought.
I'm curious. I also high-key want to see Jason in that dynamic
Yeah.
as well. Uncle Jason question?
Jason should adopt Mori and Suzu.
Oh.
Oh my
No. No. The thing with them living with Wit, it feels too much like Brianna and Tony. It's sort of like, well, you're kind of in a predicament, and I know I'm deemed to have a really big heart, and I care for everyone. So why don't you just come be my children? Like,
Yeah.
that's just too easy. Like as Emily said last time, it's just lack of creativity on the writers' team because you could have done so much more with that. It's just I don't like it. I don't like it.
Also, speaking of like weird things, like Mrs. Mado, the whole plotline with her in the first place was like, what? Like the whole point of this saga was figuring out what was going on with all these other mysteries, and if Mori was involved in like what his role in it was. And then we shoved all of that into the first episode and spin off into this crazy side story of like spies in Japan.
Exactly.
Yep.
And like,
yeah,
it just like I like the spy stuff. It's fun, but it felt like it could be two separate storylines completely.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait till everyone's done. So
Oh no, go for it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just agreeing. Yeah.
Okay. They completely derailed off the idea of Emily trying to figure out that for sure Mori did all this horrible stuff. Like it went from I think I know who this is to oh yeah, Mori almost caused international terror, and then it's oh yeah, their nanny who they've had for years. It turns out to be this crazy spy. Which how do you not? She has been. Say Mori is. This is a tangent. I'm so sorry, but say Mori is 13 years old, and Mado has been with him for that long. How in the world do you not realize that she is a lunatic spy that is dangerous?
Especially when she like tried to kill Suzu, like whenever it was like, how do you not know this?
Yeah,
exactly. She was literally. It shocked me so much when I heard that, especially because I didn't know it was Tasha at first, and she was choking her, like literally straining her. I am like, Raymond, how the heck do you know? I'm Grace and I'm irrationally angry.
Well, okay. Do we know that Mrs. Mado was with them like since they've been born, or was she brought in after their mom died? Because that seems like a more recent thing, but I don't remember.
I think
She literally
there was something,
said.
Yeah, like I've been with you guys since you were born, or something.
Oh, well, then
lines,
that's just a little weird. And brother.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
also. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, go for it. Go.
No.
No, you.
No, Matthew. I'm about to go off onto a slightly different topic, so you should say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To say.
So I'll go with the thought that I had with Miss Mado, cause she was like saying, oh yeah, like cause I actually care for you kids, cause I moved countries for you, even though I am an international espionage spy. I do genuinely care for you, and then immediately was like, I'll take Suzu down with me and like have both of us die before giving up this Morefish, whatever the microfilm thing. Microfiche?
Yeah. Microfiche.
Microfiche?
I just imagine like a little goldfish inside a Canadian
It's a tiny little fish, yeah.
No, but I appreciate your efforts.
Big fish? Microfiche.
No.
Anyways, go forth. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, I think that some of this could still like make a little more sense in like upcoming episodes, just depending on how they handle some of what has already happened. They could do damage control. They really could, but I don't know where they're going with it, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I found a list of questions I still have after listening to part 3 that I posted back in like July.
Oh, snap.
The questions being, is there an agent in Odyssey / who is it? Because I'm like 97% sure there is, the way that Tasha said that. Why is Whit working on such whacked out tech? Like, is he hiding something? What's going on? Why didn't Tasha want Jason to know she was in town, other than so the writers could pretend it never happened? and then just like, how is Emily going to respond, and like, how's it going to play out? But yeah, those were all like, okay, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Emily, though, has her voice actor changed?
No, it's an adult.
Oh, that explains so much.
Yep.
I fired up the episode and I hear this like I hear that somebody talking. I'm like, I'm gonna go on ahead, contextually assume it's Emily, but I have no idea who this is. Same goes for Matthew Parker.
Oh yeah, that's
no surprise.
Was it the same voice actor for Tasha, or was it a different one? Well, no, obviously it was the same one.
It's the voice actor that they used in album 50 for Accidental Dilemma, but she's a different one than they had used before that.
Oh, cool.
Which, honestly, the actress who does Tasha, like, after, like, for Accidental Dilemma and for Rydell Revelations, like, she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she captures Tasha really well, having, like, not been the one to initially
embody her.
Yeah. But, oh, shoot. I must go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You're in charge of kicking Aram out.
Oh, gosh.
Hopefully you're not held hostage again. But.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
If Chaos starts getting spammed, you know something went wrong.
Yeah, I'll hop on real fast.
Slick. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
And then there were 3.
This is gonna be like the wildest thing ever.
Yeah. Now it's the greatest Matthew and Addison show.
I love that.
Oh yeah. All right. So.
Yeah. You look at these
Grace?
notes. Yes.
Just as a heads up, I'm going to disagree with everything that comes out of your mouth from this point on.
Okay. I love that you do it after Hannah leaves, so but I mean okay.
Whether I actually agree with what the opposite opinion is or not is just disagree.
You're gonna become Grace's foil now for the rest of the episode.
Yep.
Oh jeez. That's dangerous, but okay.
Anyways, y'all got rants? Y'all got discussion topics for the Rydell Revelations? Because I know you can go off on it.
I have do you want to hear my mental health sort of spiel I got?
Yes!
No.
Yeah! 'Cause-
No.
Okay.
and here's
All right.
Just kidding, I won't hear it.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep this nice and short so I don't keep y'all all day.
Nah, it's
but
fine. I took up
You
5 minutes talking about Japan.
It's okay.
Please go off.
So last night I was listening to the episode or whatever, and I know we have always talked about how the Rydell Saga has really messed with Emily's mental health, right?
Yes.
Well, I've started thinking about like other episodes and stuff, and I don't think like her mental health started to get worse in the Rydell Saga. I think it just got progressively worse because, okay, we're gonna take a little flashback here. I'm gonna make this super fast. So if you look back at some of the earlier episodes, like I think it's Square One. I don't really know what it's called, but
Yeah.
pretty early on, and right, it's pretty early on in the reboot. And essentially in that episode, she feels as if she's losing her best friend. She feels like she's losing Matthew, and she feels kind of insecure, like she's annoying him. Now, keep that in mind. Moving on, then you got episodes like Emily the Genius, and she feels like she has to be held up to this high standard because she's, for a little bit, she's known as a quote-unquote genius. But when the guidance counselor or whatever goes, oh yeah, those weren't your test scores were just average. I feel like that average line really took a jab at her self-esteem. So, because then she felt like she had to prove to herself. She even said, I have to prove to myself that I can do this. She felt like she still had to live up to everyone's expectations. So not only does she feel insecure, but she has those self-esteem issues, and she now feels like she has to live up to everyone's standards. Moving on to great expectations, she feels like she also has to live up to her dad's high standards of being a judge and all. And she pushes herself so hard that it becomes unhealthy. And it's good to have high goals. It's good to set high standards, but it got to the point where it becomes unhealthy. So add that to the list. And then sacrificial escape. That's a whole mess. Matthew, I don't know if you heard it, but it's just
Probably
a mess
not.
and a half.
Oh,
It's just a mess and a half.
It's so good.
Oh, was that the one that was the escape room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
All right.
I know
So
the gist
it's
of it. Yeah, continue on.
Okay, so it's just a mess and a half, right? And I mean, not only does she feel like she has PTSD from it because she thought she was going to die, but she also, again, like in Square One, she feels like she's going to lose her best friend because when Matthew's like, Emily, I don't want to do this anymore, and she goes, oh, you're just like worried about getting out of here. This might just be me overly reading into it and being a big nerd, but I really think that was her being in denial about losing her friend again because it just hurt her so much. She doesn't want to relive that. Because I know, like, from personal experience, if you encounter something bad and then you kind of start to see it happen again, you do everything you can to convince yourself that it's not happening. So you have all that stuff. And then further from the truth, I knew it was all in like an imagination station thingy. It's spoiler alert if you've never heard the episode. But her emotions were real. So then, like, she feels, first she has terrible trust issues to the heavens, crippling anxiety. She's constantly on her guard. She sounds like she can't trust anyone because who could you trust after what she went through? And again, she feels like she's losing her best friend again, and she kind of felt like she drove him away. And then you got the Rydell Revelations. She has all of that, and it's like in Great Expectations when she's using that drive, when she's so painfully broken, she's using that to push herself to the point where it becomes unhealthy. And even in part 3, when she said, when Mado was like, you wouldn't kill her. She's like, why not? He already put me in a room and sucked all the oxygen out. Might as well drown me this time. I don't want to say salty because that's not the correct word, but she's like obviously hurt and she feels betrayed by what all happened. And then at the end of the episode, when they're like, can we still be friends? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I can't trust you, which she has a valid reason. And then when Whit was like, oh yeah, right. And then when Whit called her dad and was like, oh yeah, I told him and everything. And she's like, well, thanks for that, I guess. She feels betrayed. And add that to all of the mess that I talked about earlier. She's just, her mental health, it's just progressively gotten worse. And now it's just like at an all-time low. And I don't know if the writers ever intended this or if this is just me being a nerd and just whatever. But like, I really hope that in album 70 they talk about it because she obviously has trust issues. But I don't know. That was my little rant. Woo!
No, yeah, like I totally. That's and like I.
Yeah, that was really good.
Mm-hmm. And like I feel like part of the reason they don't really want to touch on that is because she's like the Odyssey's like star kid in that like she's the cool kid who like Sherlock Holmes solves adventures. She's really smart. Blah 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 blah. So they don't want to acknowledge like that she has mental health issues, but they've set her up beautifully to be able to start talking about that sort of thing. And it would kind of almost be like a missed opportunity because, like, for all the reasons you just outlined, there's obviously like they have stuff they can talk about, and Odyssey would be able to do it in like a healthy way, hopefully.
Exactly.
So yeah,
and especially like I know like one of their main goals is to because like the reason why all their characters are like middle schoolers or whatever, because that's their targeted audience. So they want to make the characters relatable. But honestly, if your goal is to make characters relatable, then don't put 13-year-olds through life-threatening instances and then just be like, oh yeah, we don't want to talk about mental health because children these days are already being bombarded with bad vibes. We just don't want to add to that. And I'm like, then quit writing these episodes, okay? Like I wrote an email to Focus on the Family a few months ago, and I'm like, hey, can you talk about mental health? And they said that, and I'm like, look, I know you probably didn't write these episodes thinking, hey, 2020, there's gonna be a pandemic and all this stuff, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm mad right now. Someone else talk.
I have a little thing I could say, but it's not really like important or anything.
Nah, please do. Please. I went on a rant about Japan. Please do.
Yeah, I talked for 10 minutes.
Like, where are her parents? Like,
Emily?
Throughout all of this, if I came home one day, it was like, hey, mom, dad, like, I was in the imagination station and like all this weird stuff happened. And then, oh yeah, the other day, Matthew and I had to choose which one of us lived. And it's like, wait, keep saying, oh, I called your parents. But it's like, my parents would like be there being like, quit, what are you doing? Like, stop it. My kids just almost died and you're just over here giving me a phone call. And then like, I think at the end of the Rydell Revelations, her dad just like drives up and waits in the car for her to come outside. Like he didn't even talk to Whit or anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, like they need to like introduce the parents back to Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like in the early episodes, the parents were always like George Barkley. The man wouldn't stop being on the show about Jimmy and Donna. But now Emily's dad sits in the car, like.
And we only heard Mrs. Jones in that first episode, and like the only thing she does is like run over Barrett's video game, and that's like her one appearance.
That really, Emily the genius. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of my baby, and that's the last we hear of Dorothy.
And
Jones.
then she just never again.
She got yeeted.
Mrs. Jones was not the imposter. That's the reason we haven't heard of her. Funny
she got
quick guy.
ejected.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Although I can use that to kind of segue, unless you had another thought.
Nope.
Cool, because I was wondering where Maury's parents were when I started listening to the episode, but like it kind of gets explained. But also, I can't believe the fact that Maury and Suzu were like, all of these kids are Christians. That's so whack. I wonder if they'll actually hold up to their values. Let's see which one of them would sacrifice their life to test that. Like, all right, kid.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Like, man's out here ready to enact a Saw, like, movie in Odyssey, and it's just like, let's see if Christians are Christians.
I thought Suzu's kleptomania, like, came out of just nowhere. Like, they just needed an extra thing, and so they're like, bam, this, perfect.
Yeah. I do appreciate that they talked about that, though, and with his dexterity issues, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and so Hannah had to. She's obviously not with us anymore, not because she's passed away, but because she had to go. But she just sent a little thing on the morals that she was talking about earlier. And so what she thought the episode could have been have as the morals as like God giving us the choice to do the right thing instead of the talons and using God's gifts to, like, each of us have different amounts of gifts and whatever. Because, like, if you use, because we believe, like, because we have the power of free will and God gives us the chance to either, like, do the right thing or the wrong thing, and all, like, directly use her words. Like, Maury claims to bring out the good in people, but in the end, the kids choose whether or not they do the right thing. Same with like Maury and Suzu and like stealing and whatever. So like that's one of the ways that she thinks the episode could have been twisted. Or not twisted, like that's one of the morals that could have been used in this episode. Instead of God gives everybody gifts. What's the thing in VeggieTales? God made you special.
And he loves you very
much.
Fitting that you say that Wit was using that kind of moral, or not necessarily Wit, but they were using that moral with Wit. Because when we talked about ice fishing, Matthew, you were like, yeah, that's basically what he told Monty. God loves you, and you're very special.
Yeah, right? But pretty much, yeah, he stole the tagline from VeggieTales. Oh, gosh. Speaking of VeggieTales, I was in school and I was walking to class, and all of a sudden, the song that the QWERTY, the computer, sings at the end of every episode popped into my head. I haven't watched VeggieTales in years, mind you, and all of a sudden, walking to math, I was like, so now that God's word is for everyone. Now that the song is done, we'll take a look. And I was like, okay, I guess this is in my head now.
He just starts singing it, and his friends are like, bro, are you okay?
The Christian's muttering again. Good grief. Nah, they wouldn't do that. But yeah, it was just odd that it popped into my head. Anyways, back to the episode. Can I bring up the fact that in one of the time logs for Emily's video, she said 2:33 a.m. I know why Maury's handwriting and on. Like, she was up until 2:33 a.m. thinking about this. Girl, you have a worse sleep schedule than some of my friends, and that's saying something.
Hey, like I said, she drives herself so hard that even if that means going crazy, she's gonna
find it out. Yeah, there it is. Sleep deprivation.
And she does that like a lot because in the malted ball falcon or whatever, like she got no sleep, and then she was like up climbing trees to talk to Priscilla and Matthew and stuff.
She's like, I thrive on this stuff, and I'm like, well, I thrive on 8 hours of sleep, so good for you.
Yeah. Didn't she have to like down 5 cups of coffee?
Yeah, she like addicted to caffeine or something as a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But she even said in that episode, though, oh no, I don't drink coffee. It's disgusting.
So she's chugging like 5-hour energies and Red Bulls left, right, and center. Just like she's constantly like buzzed on caffeine.
I can just imagine how horrified Wit would look like. Emily, what you drinking there? Oh, I'm just drinking a Monster. What?
Hey Wit, can I have a chocolate milkshake, but replace the milk with this? Slams the 5-hour energy like Red Bull on the counter.
Wit's like, get this devil stuff away from me.
Now, Emily, do we need to sit down and have a chat on good sleeping habits? Because the bags under your eyes could hold my entire bank statement. We need to get more sleep.
Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and you need to treat it like one. Not fill it up with that disgusting crap.
not fill it up with metaphorical and literal monsters. Flicks the can. Funny quip guy. Oh gosh. I'm getting flashbacks. There's an improv game. This is definitely going in Candid Conversations with Chaos. There's an improv game that we play. It's I don't remember the name of the game, but you're given a topic and then you have to create as many funny scenarios around the topic as possible. And one way you do it is you do the scene, like you hit the punchline that deals with the suggestion, and then everybody says the suggestion, and then it goes straight to the next scene. And just every time I say funny quip guy, that's what's going through my head. It's like it's an improv scene. Funny quip guy, next scene.
That's awesome.
Anyways.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to this episode since, like, it was released. And I remember absolutely nothing about it.
So on one end of the spectrum, there's Addison, who hasn't listened to the episode since it came out, and then there's me, who hasn't listened to anything but the episode.
Even Grace is like, I have a whole sermon on everything wrong with this.
Look, I appreciate the episode, okay? I think it's fantastic. Rydell Saga is like one of my favorite sagas. But there's just some stuff, like I said, irks me so hard.
True, it do be like that sometimes, though. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Also, is this like is it kind of, I don't know, I kind of like Maury as a character, honestly. Like, not saying that what he's done is good. Like, that's terrible. You don't get kids to sacrifice their life for their friend at 13. But like personality wise, I feel like he's a cool guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
He seems chill. Like I like Maury and Suzu. It's just some of the stuff they do. It's just like Wit. Overall, I like him, but him knowing that all this stuff was happening, it makes me very angry.
Yeah, no. And when he was explaining to Emily at the end of episode 3 why he didn't tell like Emily sounded so hurt and like, you knew about all of this, and then it sounds like he's desperately trying to backpedal, like, yes, actually, but you said you wanted to solve it on your own, and it just sounds like he's on the defensive so hard, and
yeah,
yike. Mm-hmm. So good acting, good job, Andre Stoica.
Yeah.
But like, that just sounded like an adult who didn't want to admit that they were wrong.
It really, that's like Wit, because most of the time Wit's always right. But God forbid that he's wrong. It's not my fault. I mean,
and that's why he has a strained relationship with his daughter. But that's a topic we've already covered amply, I think. We've talked about the fact that Jana got mad at her father for thinking he's infallible, right? We've talked about that.
Kind of last up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear my train of thought, just like, did we? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we did.
It hit every single station, and it just yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Also,
go ahead.
Okay, when Maury was like, what punishments? We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't break any rules. I'm like, buddy, please. I don't buy one stinking word of that. You broke that law. You did that. You broke that law. I'm like, you need to be in jail. And I want Mr. Buck Oliver to find out that this kid got away with all this stuff and flip out because Buck was so righteous enough to turn himself in, and Maury is getting away unscathed, and
yeah. Being the kid of an international diplomat can bring you some privileges. Let me just say. Yeah, yike. But was when he took all the air out of the room and during the escape room, was that actual? Did that actually happen, or was that like an imagination station thing?
It was just a simulation or whatever. But it's just still makes me mad.
Yeah, because legally, couldn't that be classified as attempted murder?
Attempted manslaughter. I think so.
Because manslaughter, I caught myself. Manslaughter, I'm pretty sure is when you if you hit somebody with your car, because that's manslaughter. Like you didn't intentionally do it, but if you did it with intent to kill, I think it's murder.
There's
I don't know why I know that.
It's okay. There's different degrees of it, like first degree, second degree.
Well, yeah, attempt is first degree, isn't it?
I think first degree is like you didn't mean to do it or something, and then so I know it, but I don't really want to talk about it right now. My brain doesn't want to think that hard.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Maximum is life for attempted murder. You can get a life sentence for attempted murder.
What? And here's little Mr. Maury Rydell just chilling and listening, and you're like, hey, Pops, how was work? And he's like, oh, Maury, did you serve your punishment? Because seriously, what kind of punishment do you guys think that he was going to give them?
Knowing Whit, it would probably just be a ton of chores, or the thing that he did with Jay, and I think his name was Brian, where they just had to record themselves doing 30 good things or something.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be worth whatever. It's not gonna be Maury did so much, and yeah,
it's kind of but yeah, he'd probably do I imagine he'd no, but that was community service with Buck. Because Buck had to repaint Odyssey or something. Oh, not Odyssey, no. He had to repaint Wit's End, right? Or something.
Right. He had to get X amount of community service hours because that's what happens when you're on parole. Maury is I'm really contradicting myself right now because earlier I'm like, yeah, I like Maury. Now I am like, he is a little scum, but it's fine.
In theory, we like Maury. In practice, he's not the nicest.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing as Wit was the only adult present short of Natalie for this entire Tasha for this entire situation, he could theoretically just put it under the rug and be like, it's just kids being kids. We don't need to get written up for this.
Literally, though.
Yeah, because it's the chief of police wouldn't argue with John Avery Whitaker.
Unless you're Don Pullhouse, in which case you would touch.
Unless you're Don Pullhouse. But he's retired, isn't he? Canonically?
No.
No? Well, in that case, Maury might get screwed. But we can move on.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going back through my notes. Sorry. Another thing. You know the part
Wait, you
where...
guys know?
Sorry?
Yeah?
Oh.
Sorry, what? What did I miss? I feel so
She's
bad.
like, whoa, because you're like, yeah, I'm looking at my notes, and she's like, wait, you guys took notes?
No, I feel that. I don't
That's
have
me in college
notes.
right now. That's my current mood.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. No, it's not notes so much, more just things. I'm like, hey, that's odd, and then write it down so that I don't forget, because my short-term memory is not good.
I'm sending you guys my notes because they're chicken scratch. But keep going with what you're saying.
Nice. This is why I type them, because my handwriting is like Maury, illegible. Anyways, yeah, I was looking at my notes, and this is another thing. You know the scene where Miss Motto is, because I'm pronouncing it correctly, or I am going to attempt to pronounce it better than the Americans did.
Matthew is salty, everyone.
Sorry, I've had a Japanese class for like 1 semester, and just having that irks me. Actually, no, I've been to Japan. What am I talking about? Never mind. I've had more experience than 1 Japanese class.
Obviously, like he just said, his short-term memory isn't doing so well.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's like 2 or 3 years ago. But anyways, so, this back to the scene where Miss Motto is like reading Suzu's journal, because it's in Japanese, and she's translating what Suzu's written down.
Mm-hmm.
The way she, like, her cadence, the way she's talking, makes it sound like she's directly translating word for word what Suzu's written down. Japanese grammar compared to English grammar is very different. So if she was direct translating every word for word, it wouldn't have made a coherent English sentence. It would have been like, it would have been different. I don't know exactly what it would have been like, because my Japanese isn't that good, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was Yeah, yesterday when I was listening to the episode or whatever, I wrote it down because I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't he say he's like kind of Japanese or something? Maybe he knows that. But now that you say that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I won't ask him to translate that into Japanese.
Me? Oh, no, I am not Japanese.
I don't know. I thought you said that at one point.
I am not. I'm very much so not Japanese. I have like a rudimentary knowledge at best.
Okay.
On me going off about culture shock. Wait, did I go off about culture shock yet? Because the culture shock of living in Tokyo and then moving to a small town in rural America after living in Japan your entire life? Bro, no. It's so different. I don't care that they were living at the US Embassy. It's still very different. Those are 2 very different environments to be living in. I'm still looking at the camera. None of you can see what I'm doing. But you cannot just jump into life. Like, you can for up to a limit. You will. I don't care how American Maury is. There will be culture shock. There will be so much culture shock. It will hit you so hard. Especially considering they're like, what, 12 and 13? The older you get, the more severe the culture shock is. Even at like a young age, they would not be as, like, it's hard to explain culture shock, but like they would not be like, oh, we're living in Odyssey now. It would be a lot different. Also, bet you $20 at least one of them's complained about vending machines. Anyways.
This is the angriest Matthew has ever been on an episode.
It has, and I don't know whether to be proud of that or not. Like, the most pressed I've been over like 19 episodes has been this, like, culture.
Culture.
Oh man. Anyways. So
were like Suzu and Mori were they homeschooled? Like, it says they were homeschooled, right?
Really? And
Or
then
am
they
I
went to
making
public
that up?
school?
Because, like, for some reason I had in my mind they were homeschooled, like, when they were in Japan. But then, like, whenever he first showed up and Parker for President or whatever, they were like, oh yeah, he's worked on several, like, student campaigns, and his last person got elected. And so, like, those two things haven't meshed in my mind, and so I don't know if I just made one of them up or, like, what.
Well,
I don't know.
like
I'm confused.
Tasha/Natalie, I'm just gonna call her Tasha. Tasha, when she was, or no, what am I even? Mado, when she was talking to Raymond in that flashback, she's like, he's finished all his math and stuff, and he's just restless now. He's like, well, teach him this other stuff. But then you're right, like, with Parker for president, he has international experience. I've read in your other school newspapers. It's like, so he, oh geez.
Like, logically, it would make sense if they were homeschooled, especially if they were embassy kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shrug.
Maybe they were just before the times and they did like at-home remote learning, you know?
Yeah.
Oh. Ugh.
I just checked the wiki while you were saying that. It doesn't really schooled or public schooled. Private schooled? Oh.
Schooled and schooled.
Cool. Boy, in school, boy. Sorry. Anyways. Yeah. Wait, speaking of the school election, sorry, I'm just gonna keep saying things. Speaking of the school election, Olivia mentions like, or no, I don't know, somebody mentions like, oh yeah, people like candidates that stir up controversy. Like, you guys are in middle school. What kind of controversy, like, like in politics? I can understand like controversial, but in middle school, like what? You stole a welcome back to the part. So yeah, what was I talking about? Controversy. Controversy as a middle school candidate. It just struck me as odd. That is all. that is my 2 cents.
In my personal experience with like middle school elections and stuff, we had them like the same day we figured out who the candidates were. Like, we had enough time to stir up drama and stuff. So that was like all foreign to me in the episode. I was like, what? Why are they taking 20 years to figure out like who they're gonna vote for?
Yeah,
having debates and stuff. I'm like, well, when we would sign up for class presidents, you would sign up and then like 2 days later you would be like, okay, vote for whoever, and then like they would announce it at the end of the school day or something. And not like, okay, so you're gonna have a campaign manager, you're gonna have your VP, and then you got the president. We're gonna have these kind of really salty debates going on after school, mind you. And yeah, me, this random 14-year-old, yeah, I'm gonna cover all of this, so make sure to check out this non-existent radio station and hear the tea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dang, they really go in Odyssey for their politics, man.
Yeah, because like Lucy and Kurt, they had like a whole huge thing where they had debates at Wits End and stuff.
Well, it was Kurt bribing all the kids, but basically. But yeah, like I know what you mean. Like, they have like everything. They like all in.
You know how Jamie, this is totally off topic, but you know how Jamie said we should do that voting episode for next week so it can be out by the time the American election is? We should do, I really should not be saying this, we should do Parker for president though, because Matthew and Olivia bicker just like Trump and Biden did.
I guess we should do that because
I shouldn't have said that. Emily, edit that out, I swear.
No, Emily, keep that in. That sounds
there was me.
I don't I don't remember how Matthew and Olivia bicker in that episode, but I'm interested now because based on what I've
They were
seen
just
of
insulting each other. So, like, I mean, my
based on
joke
what I've
is
seen of the
valid.
American debate the other day,
Mhm.
yikes.
Mm.
Anyways.
On today's episode of Grace cringing out what came out of her mouth. Anyway.
No, it's fine. It's only going to be published for millions to hear.
I know, right? My cousin who listens to these is gonna listen to it and she goes, "You went there." And I'm like, shoot, oh no.
Nice.
Anyway.
Anyways. Oh no! Anyway, you know the meme. Thank you.
That's with oh no, you almost died.
Oh no! Anyways. That's exactly who he is. The entire he's just oh no! Anyway. Oh, it's true though. I see no lie. None whatsoever. Oh, this is also very, very off topic and of little to no importance, but I when I first heard the sound of when Emily's phone would start playing a video, it made a little blip because you know, radio adventure. It makes sense, but I was just kind of laughing because it's that doesn't sound like an actual phone. And then later on in the episode, I was scrolling through my phone because I was on my phone while listening to the episode. I pressed play and then started listening to the episode, and then I heard the sound from the episode, and then I assumed I had gotten a notification. So I looked through my notification center before realizing, nope, that was the episode, and you just called yourself a massive hypocrite. Funny quip guy. Anyways. Yeah.
The amount of times you've said that today, dude. Oh, I'm the funny. I'm the funny.
That's not what I
Okay. I don't mean to make fun of you. I do that for all my friends, but I can't even say that without laughing.
Do we have any other prevailing thoughts, feelings, ideas, suggestions, critiques, questions, comments, concerns for the episode?
Well, I do.
Oh, go for
Please
it.
go on.
Okay. Sorry, that was mean, Grace. But
I didn't hear what you said.
So I'm still bothered by the fact in the key suspect or whatever. No, I can't remember what episode it was, but it was the one where it turned out Jay was taking photos of the copy machine to get test answers, and he gave him the Barrett and stuff.
Yep.
They talk about how the keys were stolen and stuff from that guy, but then they never bring that up again, and it's it would definitely not make sense to the Rydell Saga because that was way before Maury showed up. But still, at the same time, it's the same exact stuff that Suzu was apparently using on the lockers. So, is there somebody else we don't know about? Or did they just not care? But,
Ooh.
I mean, it's a middle school, so chances are good the administration just does not.
Just not.
That's true.
Honestly, I've exhausted my culture-related rants and other forms of critiques and praise for this episode. Overall, I liked it because, a saga. But also, I didn't like getting told what Remembrance Day was. And that's kind of my entire those are basically the sum of my thoughts on the episode. So I'm good to go.
Yeah, I don't remember a thing about it other than what I've mentioned. So, yeah.
Fair.
I mean, I was just really freaking out about mental health the entire thing, and doing the well, just wit being wit. So that's what
Yeah,
Cool.
that's fair. Honestly, though, now I'm really entertaining that wit isn't wit, and it's like somebody else kind of snuck in there. It's black. Yeah, like if it's Blackguard, like that would be like the reveal of like the century. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but like that'd be. I don't know. That'd be cool.
It would have been better if Wit had been the one in like the tunnel instead of Jack way back during the Blackguard saga, because then they would be able to use like the thing that the reason they never found Blackguard was because somehow Blackguard like turned himself into Wit, and he's been like slowly undermining Odyssey ever since then. But that didn't happen, so.
Oh, that'd be terrifying though, eh? Like that'd be really good, but like just thinking about that Wit like just slowly. Wait, what episode is it? Is it I Slap Floor where Wit just starts giving out absolute trash advice? The entire is that I Slap Floor? Yeah, but like because if that starts happening, but more subtly, like that.
Well, like when. No, sorry. Finish your thought.
No, the thought was that, and then I wanted somebody else to continue it. Please go ahead.
Okay. Well, like when Addie was saying earlier, like, oh, Blackguard, that's actually like they use the thingy that they use for Tasha to make it look like Suzu, and like that's basically what happened with Richard and Blackguard and I Slept Floor. I mean, let's be real.
True. So I mean. All the plot devices are there. All that has to be implemented is John Whitaker giving increasingly trashy advice to children. Ooh, that sounds terrible. I should not have worded it like that. But like fake wit just strikes me as a really interesting concept.
You know how there was like when Among Us started getting really popular, and someone, I think Emily, she made that post about like Odyssey characters playing Among Us. And now that's all I can think about. Oh yeah, that person's sus, that person's sus, that person's the imposter. He got wrongfully accused.
Yeah, it's just we're using Maury was sus, but Maury was not the imposter.
Nato through the entire time trying not to blow her cover. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Miss Nato is like the rando that everyone votes for, like as a joke, but then actually turns out to be the imposter. All right. Well, should we close the episode, announce what episode we're doing next week, so on and so forth, and till death do us part? What?
Whoa. No. Sure. Hang on.
So unless we're doing the vote thing. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We're doing the vote one. I'm trying to find what it's called. So, next week, we will be talking about a single vote. So, yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Mentally,
what were you thinking?
I had assumed you were going to take a vote on what episode to do next week. Oh.
Yeah, because that pertains to the American election. Let's vote on what episode we should do. Well, you never know what it does.
Oh, dear.
But it's not redundant.
Oh, man. Wait, so that means we're doing an episode on America next week. Oh, this is going to be fun for me.
Now is your chance to just throw all the roast you have built up at America.
I can just diss your entire country and not get doxxed because I'm not American.
Wow.
Now's your chance. With like 15 pages of notes. And just like, let's get started.
Let's get started. Reason number one why America's not doing so hot.
It would be like Bernard at Eugene's bachelor party or whatever.
Yes. 10 reasons why the Meltzer marriage isn't quite normal. And the Matthew's like, 10 reasons why Canada is better than America. And then, reason number 515. Wait, I thought number 560.
Oh man, straight up. Yeah. No, I could like whip out an entire PowerPoint and half the points would be the fact that I live in Canada. Oh dear. Anyways, yes. So next week we're doing a single vote.
Woo! Yeah.
Woo! Vibes.
I think that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it.
We appreciate all of you. And if you want to get in contact with us, please, we crave validation.
Yes.
Yes.
Hit us up. Email, Gmail, Tumblr, reviews on all the podcast forums.
Instagram. Forums, yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, we have an Instagram page. We announced that. I don't know why I'm doing it.
That's all right.
Please contact us at 403-875.
800. No, wait.
What is it?
Oh no, that's
80995.
Yeah.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yeah. We just start using that as our. Oh yeah. If you ever have any fan mail, start mailing it to Colorado Springs, Colorado 800-995 or whatever.
Oh boy. Or visit us online at witsend.org. Even though it's not witsend.org anymore, which kind of makes me low-key sad.
That's why we just need to buy it, and we could use listen.org for our own use.
Okay.
I mean, if I wasn't a broke high school student...
That's such a mood. That's such a mood. If I wasn't a broke high school student, I could do all of these things. So many things I want to buy into. No, you're a broke 15-year-old girl. Anyway.
Oh dear. If we weren't broke, IRL Adventures in Absurdity recording podcast.
Boy, howdy.
Oh dear. The sheer amount of chaos in one room if we all got together would be sky through the roof. Awkwardly laughs, yeah.
It would just be us screaming. The day we all meet's just going to be us screaming.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
lots
Grace
of screaming.
and I talked about this, and we're like, there's going to be no less than 2 explosions, and Matthew's going to be involved with one of them.
We're like, that's gonna be a signal that he showed up. We're all gonna be sitting inside somewhere, and we hear an explosion, and we're like, Matthew, and you're gonna be like, welcome to the party, gamers.
That's absolutely. I can't. That's so in character. That's absolutely how I would greet all of you. Like, even though I would walk into a room of all of you guys, welcome to the party, gamers.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's hilarious. An explosion goes off with like AJR's bang just playing in the background, like, sup, gamers?
Matthew's here.
Yeah, y'all ready to vibe or what? Let's go. Oh dear. Oh man. Yeah, no. That if y'all wanna listen to an IRL AIA episode, please send us money. We will set up a GoFundMe.
Right. But can Abby and Matthew even get into America though, because borders are closed?
I have my ways.
True. True.
Grape could smuggle me in. Grape could definitely
Matthew is sus right now, everybody.
I've always thought that.
Yeah, well, this is why I'm voted out every single round. Oh dear, yeah. No. Yeah, no, but like we probably couldn't do it until Corona's over. But till Corona's over, bud. Ooh, boy, howdy. Until Corona is over, but once Corona is over and we can all meet, like, I don't know, some like y'all. No, you don't. I was gonna say some of y'all live close, and I was like, it's close in Canada by Canada standards. All right, yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. See you next week where we get to talk about American politics and cry.
Bye.
So, disclaimer, we're also not affiliated with Focus on the Family, by the way. Please don't ever think that.